So he ends with the positive. He ends with, no, the people of taqwa, they'll have gardens. He didn't even say they're not going to burn. They're not going to be destroyed. No. They'll have gardens and a wonderful river and a place to sit. And it's going to be in a very high place. عند مليك مقتدر. In his company. These ayat, when the Sahaba heard them, this is what I want to leave you guys with. When the companions heard these ayat, they were in the middle of a lot of struggle. They had given up a lot. They had given up their comfort, the love of their family, their economic situation had changed. Everything had become hard for them. All because they've joined ranks with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the only thing keeping their hopes alive was, that chair, I want to sit on that chair. I want to swim in that river. I love these gardens. I want to go to these gardens. That's the only thing that's keeping them motivated constantly. And these ayat, they would just keep reciting and reciting and reciting. When you hear the Sahaba used to recite Qur'an a lot, all the time they used to recite Qur'an, there's a reason. Because it's when you read so much about the unseen, it starts becoming the seen to you. When you read so much about the unseen, these few days that you've been listening to Makkah Qur'an over and over and over and over and over again, overwhelmingly what we've studied is Makkah Qur'an. A small handful of surahs that were Madani, mostly what we've studied is Makkah. The biggest section of Madani surahs is actually now soon coming, from Surah Al-Hadid onwards. Hadid onwards is a large section of Madani surahs. But what we've been experiencing is Makkah Qur'an. And Makkah Qur'an, you just start seeing the world differently. It's just about changing your worldview. That's what Makkah Qur'an is there for. You just see the world different. You don't see grass the way you looked at it before. You don't see the sun the way you looked at it before. You don't see laughing and crying the way you looked at it before. The point of Makkah Qur'an is to change our point of view. It's to change our perspective on life, on things around us. Everything will become an ayah to you. Everything will become an ayah. And that's why these surahs, I recommend if you guys are going to go, inshallah, memorize Qur'an, it's really motivating to memorize the shorter surahs because you feel accomplished. And it's, for some reason culturally, it's become 30th juz, everybody memorizes 30th juz. 30th juz is beautiful, it really is. But it's all warnings. It's all warnings. It's a very tough section of Qur'an. My recommendation to you is start somewhere around the 30s. Like surahs 30, 31, 32, like that, somewhere around there. Surah Al-Rum, that area. Start memorizing from there. After you do the surahs that the Prophet recommended you memorize, there's a handful of surahs that he recommends you memorize, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before you go on your journey to Hifz. But if you memorize from there, they're shorter surahs, and they are of diverse subjects, and they're very beautiful, and they'll develop a good relationship between you and Qur'an, inshallah, very, very quickly. Inshallah ta'ala. And the vocabulary in them is not as hard. Juz Amma vocabulary is hard. This surah has tough vocabulary. The previous surah has tough vocabulary. It's a lot of new vocabulary. But those surahs I'm referring to in the 30s, for the most part, you'll start getting used to it even if you're not an Arabic student. You'll hear dars a couple of times, and the vocabulary will start sticking in you.